Hey folks, Justin from Tackle Tactics. Today we are talking about rigging and fishing a ZMan favourite, the ZMan 4-inch DieZel MinnowZ. So the 4-inch DieZel MinnowZ is an extremely popular plastic for those medium to larger target species. It's a realistic bait fish profile that has a few cool features on here. It's got a nice slim profile which makes it easy for fish to eat, and it's also got a strong paddle tail action in the back end there that fires the fish up. A belly slot, which is excellent for weedless rigging and for adding scent, and we've also got that top fin on that plastic which allows us to conceal the hook when weedless fishing as well. So a well-designed plastic that appeals to a wide range of species, that 4-inch profile being attractive to everything from flathead and mangrove jack to barra, mulloway, and a stack of other species as well. So an excellent bait fish profile. That's why it's so popular, and also that's why there's so many colours available in the range. So in the range of 4-inch DieZel MinnowZ colours, you will find a stack of natural bait fish colours. So they are non-UV bait fish colours such as pearl blue glimmer, pearl, opening night, bad shad. There's a load of really natural bait fish colours that are perfect for clear water and bright conditions when we really want to match that natural bait fish coloration in the water. You know, the fish can be pretty finicky. They've got excellent vision in those clear waters and bright conditions, so you really have to go natural sometimes with those presentations. So we've got those nice natural bait fish colours. We then get into some crazy colours that are loaded with glitter. Glitter is excellent, dirty water, tannin water. When you want to capture that bit of light and create a lot of flash, scale flash to attract fish and trigger strikes. So the golden boys and the new pennies and the gold rushes have got that heavy glitter in there that you can use to your advantage when you're trying to catch the attention of the fish. Also from there we go into some darker silhouette colours like the gold rush again, the red shad, the right stuff. Some darker silhouette colours for those dark conditions in that dirty water or that tannin stained water where you're really looking for a fish silhouette to pop and attract the attention of the fish. And from there, of course, we go to a selection of UV plastics. So our fluoro colours, such as our sexy penny, sexy mullet, new chicken glow, those fluoros are a UV reactive colour. And then there's also some in there that you may not recognise straight away as a UV colour, like Calico Candy and Purple Death, but you hit them with a UV torch and they absolutely pop. They've really got that UV reactive material built into them. The same with the motor oil, as always, is an extremely popular UV reactive plastic. So you're pretty well covered in terms of colours. There's a ton of different colours there, from the light realistic bait fish into that heavy glitter, into the darker colours, and then also our UV reactive colours in that range as well. All right, in terms of rigging this plastic, the finesse options kind of go out the window a lot with this plastic. This plastic starts to go into those medium to larger species, so a lot of those finesse jig heads we don't have to worry about. It's quite a simple selection of jig heads here compared to some of those smaller plastics where there are a massive range of jig heads where you're really chasing those brim and those finicky species that take a bit of convincing at times. So Headlocks HD jig head is probably the go-to for most people when they're rigging the DieZel MinnowZ. That's a heavy duty black nickel mustard hook in there, so it's a brutally powerful hook, plenty of stopping power in that hook. And here I've got it rigged on a 3.0, a 4.0 and a 5.0. So for me the 4.0 is the magic size. The 4.0 fits in that DieZel MinnowZ perfectly, and at this time of the year, we're filming this in summertime, it's mangrove jack time, that 4.0 and the 4-inch DieZel MinnowZ absolutely pumps out the door. So it's normally an excellent plastic and a popular plastic. Come the warmer months and jack season, that really flies, that 4.0 in that 4-inch DieZel MinnowZ. So 4.0 I like to fish it on. I know guys that fish it on a 3.0, so they're wanting that larger bait fish profile, but they're wanting that smaller hook size for those fish with smaller mouths, and that's so that they can get it back into their gob no problem as well and get that hook up. So 3.0 as a starting option, 4.0, and then I also know guys that fish that 4-inch DieZel on a 5.0. So kind of maxes out around that 5.0, but that gives you more hook exposure and a heavier hook than the 4.0. And it's a good option for things like barra and mulloway, where you've got that fish with a larger mouth that can inhale the plastic and spit it out fairly quickly. So what you need is you need that hook exposure so that that hook finds its mark inside the mouth of the fish, be it a barra, be it a mulloway, you know, whatever species it might be. So the 5.0 is an option for those chasing species with larger mouths, and especially those that inhale and then eject the plastic. So that's the Headlocks HD. So a lot of the fishing that people do in open water, mangrove edges, those sort of things where you're not particularly snaggy areas, they'll fish it in that open water and around the weed beds and all that sort of thing on that Headlocks HD in a 3.0, a 4.0 and a 5.0. When we step from there, we might want to go to a painted head option, something like our Big Eyes. So our Big Eyes jig heads are available in a 3.0 and a 5.0. So it gives you that smaller hook option, and it also gives you that larger hook option for pinning those fish with those big gobs. So in this case here, you can see we've got the silver and black with the glow eye, and we've got the chartreuse with the red eye. That's the 3.0 size hook to give you an idea of how that 3.0 sits. So popular for flathead and that sort of thing in that 3.0. And there we've got it teamed up, and we're basically matching our plastics with our jig head. So that Mullotron colour teams up beautifully with that silver and black, and we've got our chartreuse on our sexy mullet. So there's our natural presentation, there's our UV reactive pop if we really want to make that presentation pop. So the two non-UV and then that really UV reactive sort of colour. And then from there, that's our 3.0. Here's a look at it on a 5.0. And on the 5.0, again, we've gone for that natural. We've got the black head this time with the glow eye on that Mullotron plastic. That's a really good dark silhouette colour, nice natural colour. That'd be a favourite for me fishing deeper for things like mulloway and that sort of thing. Otherwise, you can team it up with, say, something like that pink head, and the pink head gives you some UV reactive pop, so it gives you that strike trigger on that plastic, with keeping the bulk of the plastic natural still compared to something like that, where it's a very reaction bait style full UV setup. So we can utilise those heads, those coloured heads, to give us that pop or to give us that really natural silhouette profile. That minnow shaped head teams up beautifully with that minnow plastic. So that's the 3.0 and the 5.0 in the Big Eyes, a really good option. And again, that's on that brutally strong mustard chemically sharpened black nickel hook, the same hook that's in that Headlocks HD jig head. So very popular option. From there, we might want to add a bit of flash and vibration to our soft plastic. So here we have our DieZel MinnowZ 4-inch, and we've got it paired up with a couple of Headlocks jig heads. So the Headlocks jig head is an underspin style jig head, so you can see we've got that piece coming down the bottom there with the spinning blade on there, and the head also tapers to put the bulk of the weight down lower, and that's to control the blade so that it doesn't want to tip and roll and become unstable. So again, that Headlocks is available in the 3.0 and the 5.0. So there we have it on that 3.0. That's the smaller hook exposure for those fish that we really want to suck that plastic in that have smaller mouths. And that has a gold Colorado blade on there. So the gold blade is popular in dirty and tannin stained water, and also low light conditions where that gold really catches that last of the sun's rays or the first of the sun's rays. And there we have it on the 5.0, and that's got the longer thinner blade, which is the willow blade, and in this case it's a nickel blade, so a silver blade. And the silver blade is often popular in clear water and also very popular in the salt water, providing that flash and vibration. And that longer thinner blade is good for running the plastic deeper and also faster presentations with that longer thinner blade. So that's our Headlocks, a really cool and easy way to add flash and vibration to your soft plastic presentation. So in this case, for something like the 4-inch DieZel MinnowZ, we might use that just as something a bit different to change the noise, change the look of that plastic for something like barramundi, for jacks, for mulloway, for snapper, and also good if you're fishing for flathead in weed beds, where you can run that plastic across the top of the weed bed and create a bit more noise and a bit more flash and vibration to draw the fish out of the weed. So that's in our 3.0 and 5.0. And another way that we can add flash and vibration is with a jig spinner. So because we're using a big plastic like a 4-inch DieZel MinnowZ, we're going to be coming across larger predators generally. So we step from a standard jig spinner up to a jig spinner HD. So this is our jig spinner HD, and here we have it in a couple of different frame sizes. So that's in a small frame and in a medium frame. So small frame, smaller species, more compact presentation. We've got that larger arm on that medium frame, gives us a bit more profile, a larger presentation for species like barra and Murray cod and that sort of thing where we want that flash and vibration. And the cool thing with those is they simply twist to come off the plastic as well. So you can detach them quite easily, tie your plastic on there and fish. Otherwise, if we want to attach one, we just cut our plastic off and then we just tie onto there. And there we go, we've got a presentation that creates a fair bit of flash and vibration, and that wireframe can also protect your plastic to a degree from snagging as well when you're running it through timber and that sort of thing. So there we go, we can add flash with the Headlocks, we can add flash and vibration as well with a jig spinner, in a Jig Spinner HD with that bigger plastic, because well, chances are we're going to be catching larger fish on that 4-inch DieZel minnows. And then we get to our weedless options. So this plastic is awesome for weedless rigging. It's really, really easy to weedless rig thanks to that belly slot, which makes it simple to get our weedless hook up and through and out the back of the plastic. And also that top fin, it's a split fin, which allows us to tuck that hook right into that slot, and it makes it really easy to get it weedless rigged and get it right in and out through that timber, lilies, weed beds, you know, all sorts of structure where we might target jacks, barra, and those other structure dwelling type species. So I like to rig it on a Chinlocks SWS. So that's a Chinlocks jig head with a belly weight on there. So the Chinlock refers to that locking mechanism at the front of the jig head, and that locks the soft plastic in place so it doesn't slide down. Being 10 times tough, super soft and flexible Laztec material, we've got to lock it on that head with our headlock keeper or with our Chinlock keeper, and then we simply pop our hook up through and out the top, and we can tuck our hook into that slot. And you can see there, that hook point is well and truly hidden in the back of that plastic, but being so soft and flexible, it doesn't take much to shift the plastic when a fish attacks it and clear that hook and get that hook point into the fish, get that penetration that we need. So the Chinlocks SWS or snagless weight system has that belly weight on the shank of the hook, on the bend of the hook. So the cool thing with that is it stabilizes the plastic, makes it run nice and straight, and gets that tail working and lots of body roll, and it allows us to sink that plastic naturally into structure. So if you're going north or you're chasing jacks or barra or anything like this, this is an absolute go-to presentation when you want 1/8, 1/6 ounce of weight and just that slow, subtle glide into snags. You want that hang time so the fish can see it come in and nail it, and then you want to work it slowly or flick it right up in those drains, swim it out of the drains. Doesn't matter if there's snags and things in the drain, because this will bump and roll over the top of them and then boom, get nailed by a jack or nailed by a barra. Down south here, it's an excellent presentation for bass, for Murray cod and that sort of thing, that you really want to work the timber snag poles and that sort of thing to pull them out, but also just something as simple as flathead over the weed. You know, that presentation, I can go and flick that right in up around the mangroves and work it out through those mangrove prop roots, boom, get a big flatty working in along the edge of those mangrove prop roots. So that's the Chinlocks SWS. I like to fish it in a 4.0, but I do know that some guys fish it in a 6.0. And even though it's only a 4-inch plastic, it's a good profile, that DieZel minnows, and it will carry that 6.0 hook as well. So 4.0, 6.0, I fish it a lot in a 4.0, but I know barra guys especially and Murray cod guys will up it to that 6.0. So it gives them that bit heavier hook and also that additional clearance when the fish strikes as well. The cool thing about weedless rigging as well, when you do get the hook up is often right in the side of the fish, right in the jaw hinge. So once you do get that bite on that weedless rig and you get that hook up, the fish will often struggle to throw the hook. So often you can keep the fish hook a lot more effectively on that weedless rig. So that's our snagless weight system with the belly weight. And then of course the other option that is very, very popular, especially again this time of year, the jacks and that sort of thing, is the Headlocks jig head. So the difference is there's no belly weight on this hook. Our hook is moved to the front of the head, and it's also removable. So we can clip that off and on our Headlocks. So we've got our Chinlocks hook with that Chinlock keeper in there, and we've got our separate head with a stainless steel through wire rated to 75 pounds. So plenty of stopping power in that Headlocks head. And you can get the head by itself, or you can get them pre-rigged, and they're available in a bunch of weights, including 1/12, 1/8, 1/6, quarter, 3/8 and half. So whether you're fishing really, really shallow up north in amongst the mangroves, or you're fishing the drains, or you're fishing over the weed, or you want to prospect a deep hole that's full of snags, you can get a head weight to suit your application. And then we can simply clip that hook back on, and away we go. So what some guys do is they'll have a little tray, and in there they'll have a bunch of head weights and a bunch of hook sizes, and depending on the plastic they choose and the depth they're wanting to fish, they just choose their hook, choose their head weight clip, and away they go, ready to catch fish. So for me, I like to fish that on a 4.0, the same as with the Chinlocks SWS. The 4.0 hook fits in there beautifully. Without the belly weight there, it clears even easier. And that's a good presentation. I use a lot across the flats and the weed and that for flathead, and I'll pick up trevally and tailor and other sorts of bits and pieces as well. But it's an excellent flathead in the weed presentation. Take it north, it's a great barra jack presentation. Take it south, it's an excellent presentation for murray, cod, mulloway, all sorts of things that are around structure or snaggy sorts of bottom. So again, I've got it here on a 3.0 just so you can check it out. You can rig it in a 3.0 if you're chasing fish with smaller mouths and you want that smaller hook to get into their mouth. The 4.0 is an excellent all-rounder. I've got it here on a 5.0 as well. And again, as we said with our Chinlocks SWS, you can step up to that 6.0 if you want, which is an option that's popular for the guys chasing barra and murray cod specifically. So there you go, that is on the snake locks in a 3.0, a 4.0 and a 5.0, and if need be you can jump up to that 6.0. So a very, very popular plastic, available in a stack of colours. If you're looking for a standard jig head option, it's hard to go past that Headlocks HD. It's very, very popular option, 3.0, 4.0 and a 5.0. And in a painted head in that big eyes in a 3.0 and a 5.0, both got that brutally strong mustard black nickel chemically sharpened hook. The same when you step to that Revlocks, same hook in a 3.0 and a 5.0 option to add some flash and vibration. You can also add some flash and vibration with that Jig Spinner HD. And then we step to our weedless rigging with our Chinlocks SWS in a 4.0 and a 6.0, or that snake locks with the weight forward on the jig head in that 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, 6.0 options. Scent wise, I always scent my plastics. It masks foreign scents like fuel and sunscreen. It also has amino acids, bite stimulants, UV enhancement and real ground bait. So it's a good idea to scent up your plastics. I scent up every 30 or so casts, put a bit at the top of the head there and just smear it back down the full length of the plastic, and boom, you're ready to go. Maximise your chances of catching fish. Because we're dealing with a bait fish profile, again, I go for those bait fish options. So the mullet, the pilchard sardine are excellent bait fish. You know, very, very popular fish, bait fish that fish love to eat. So why not use that scent on your plastic? So the mullet, the pilchard sardine, and also the inshore salt water is a good all-rounder for that salt water use as well. Step to the fresh. Again, we can go that mullet, lots of potty mullet and Popeye mullet and that sort of thing. So we can go that mullet again. Otherwise, a couple of freshwater favourites include that aniseed and also the garlic. So another couple of popular freshwater options for those that are wanting to use this plastic rigged like this to fish in the freshwater. Otherwise, it also makes an excellent trailer on larger chatterbaits and also a great spinnerbait trailer as well. So there you go, that is the 4-inch DieZel MinnowZ, a super popular soft plastic option for a wide range of species, from flathead and Jackson, barra to mulloway, snapper, murray cod. All sorts of fish will eat a bait fish in that sort of 4-inch profile. So there you go. If you haven't tried the DieZel MinnowZ, worth a crack for sure. If you have, hopefully you've found another way that you can rig it and get out there and whack a few. All the best with the fishing. Cheers.